Yo, man. We got to bring the energy, man, because we are here. And if you guys see what's on the screen, that was a fucking death sentence. That was awful. Back to back weeks of straight dog shit out here at fucking Thursday Night Football, man. What did you think? First of all, man, how are you doing, man? Are you okay?
Yeah, man. Nah, bro. Like, I didn't think the games Thursday night could get any worse from last week. I shouldn't have spoken, bro. Like, I literally did not think it could get any worse, and it did. Like, this was my eyes were damn near bleeding from watching this game. It's
Hey,
just awful.
the Bears and the Commanders said hold my beer to last
Yeah.
week's fucking performance. This was putrid, but I still think we have some takeaways. I'm not going to lie here. I'm going to pull these up. As you guys can see, 12-7 Washington Commanders. There's not really much to take away here. Carson Wentz didn't even crack 100 yards. Justin Fields, I mean, he didn't look horrible, but like he holds on to the ball forever. I don't know if you peeped that. Like he just pat.
Yeah. He's struggling with vision down the field. Even when there's plays, he's either overthrowing the ball or literally underthrowing it to the point he doesn't even get past the line of scrimmage. If you saw the game, the pick that he threw, he had Cole Kmet down the middle for in the end zone, and he literally threw the ball so low, it wasn't even batted down. It went straight off a lineman's helmet, straight up into the air. So
He struggled,
they
man.
gotta figure. Yeah,
We
it's
gotta
not
talk
looking good out
about
there.
though. We gotta talk about, man. Many
The
men
man of the hour.
wish death upon him.
Yeah,
Blood is
man.
thy dog, and he can't see.
I don't even want to say he's the man of the hour. That's the man of the week, bro. Like honestly, and we were drafting when the news came out that he had gotten shot. Like that was just so crazy. Um, I personally didn't think that he was gonna be back this like if he was gonna be back, but he's gonna be rehabilitating most of the year. But just
Yeah.
to see him out on the field and performing, and I mean, 3.5 isn't too bad. You would like to see better efficiency, but the game itself was just horrible. And
The game
considering,
was
you know,
horrible. Yeah, like you
you
were
can't
saying.
expect, you can't ask for much more from this man. He's coming back from a couple bullet holes, and he's
Sadly.
yeah, and he's doing what he can, man, and he did good. He looked better than Antonio Gibson. I think Antonio Gibson just had one like decent run,
It's
which is
just
helping the average out.
oh
But
man. I'll say this. Brian Robinson did not look great to start the game. He definitely got better as the game went on.
yeah, yeah,
And I mean, honestly, I don't see a reason for them not to continue to give him the ball because, like you said, McKissick didn't stand out. Gibson is Gibson. Like they kind of know what they're going to get from Gibson. He's like a splash play waiting to happen, but most of the time he misses the easy read, and Robinson provides consistency. So I did
mhm.
like that, but this is a tough running game for him just because I feel like Carson was playing hurt.
He it looked like he rolled his ankle, not rolled it, but maybe like he did like an awkward movement where he had to get retaped up on the sideline, but he came back in. He also banged his hand
Yeah,
on one of the plays. So I mean, man, overall, I don't know. I just did quick maths. Between if you add the QBR for both of these quarterbacks, they had 50.1
that's
combined
awful.
QBR. That's how horrible that game was.
That is putrid. No receivers in Washington had any relevance. Perry started the game looking pretty good, I would say. In the first half, he had like 2 catches, 31 yards on like back-to-back plays almost.
He was
Um,
heavily involved. Yeah,
and
he was.
then
They
they
had him in a
just
couple of screens, not screens, like
like
sweep
little
plays.
swing
Yeah,
passes, yeah. But then they just decided not to throw him the ball. What's up with that? I don't know, man. Just I personally, I'm not feeling any kind of confidence starting any of these Washington receivers, and the same can be said for the other side. Mooney had 12 targets out of 27 passes. That's damn near 50%. That's like you're pushing high, like low 40s, mid 40s. Crazy, crazy, crazy. He didn't look bad either. I'm not gonna lie. Some of the passes though, like the inaccurate passes to Mooney are really inaccurate. It
yeah.
was
He throws behind and low really often. I don't know what the deal is there. If he's just not seeing the player, getting the reads on time. Personally, I don't buy in on Mooney. I think he's very mid
Okay.
to maybe a little bit above average. I don't see him consistently getting separation or getting those contested catches. And it's crazy that we're saying that what we're saying about the Washington receivers, right? Because after week two,
It was
2 weeks into
opposite.
the season, we were in on Dotson, we were in on Samuel, in on Terry. Terry was a little underwhelming, but he was still producing, giving you double digits. But now it's just like both of these offenses, like you want no part in it.
Yeah, you want definitely minimal parts. Like, I'm not starting these players. I don't mind holding on to, Terry Curtis. I would hang on to just off of pure volume. He dropped a tutty, like a 40 plus yard tutty.
Yeah,
Um, had a rough game out there for himself, but it's just Brian Robinson realistically is the only person I want. And then for the other side, I just want the Bears running backs. Whoever I can get. If I have Montgomery, I
yeah,
want Herbert. If I have Herbert, I want Montgomery. Not really. Just leave me with Herbert. Herbert looks That's my boy right there, man.
yeah. What I mean more so is not that you don't want them or you don't want any part of it, is that you don't really have confidence in starting these players right now.
Yeah, their upside is so tilted just because they don't really like unless they score, they don't really do much, man. Like
Yeah,
they had, I believe, one combined target at the running back position. Ooh, that's a rough. One
yeah,
out of 27 passes went to running backs. That is not
not so
not
good.
successful in my opinion at all. We're gonna actually do this backwards today, guys. We're gonna go into the Aussie take section first, and then we're gonna talk about our league because we want to get the sauce going. So it gives you premise for the rest of the sit starts that we talk about and stuff like that going into the league. And I want you to take it away because I think I'm gonna start calling you Double Dip King, man, because you be double
Yeah,
dipping.
man. I'm gonna be doubling up from last week. We did fade on Najee. We did think he was gonna be a bust.
Smashed.
This week I am gonna double up on him. I think he's gonna be a bust yet again. I don't see, and they have him ranked at 20, but I just don't see him producing. He has another kind of another tough matchup where I just see him struggling. I see that whole offense struggling again. There's just kind of an adjustment period. They're putting a new quarterback in still, Pickett, and the offense still needs to needs to find its way. And I just don't see that happening. Not with Najee right now. The way that things are going, I think he's also playing a little bit nicked up. So I think that's part of it as well.
So currently you have him. They have him ranked 20. Where
I have
exactly?
him outside. I have him outside the top 36.
Oof.
I don't think he's gonna be right around that, just because of volume if he plays, unless he's like limited because of the injury. But I just cannot see him. He
Producing
would need
essentially.
touchdown.
Yeah.
He's the touchdown dependent to be able to
Did
even get in the top 24.
did you actually see what Mike Tomlin came out and said regarding Jalen Warren? So
I saw he said something. He was like reassuring him and
yeah,
that they're gonna keep getting him more
yeah,
involved.
they're gonna get him more involved, which is something I'm very interested in because I think that tells you two things. I think that tells you not just that Warren is playing good. I think that tells you that Najee has not recovered from the injury that he's had since training camp. One way or
Yeah,
another, he's not fully Najee. And obviously, like, we don't get the intel that they get, but he doesn't look 100%. He's not playing like he's 100%. Najee's a better player than this for him to be outplayed by Warren last game and stuff like that. So I don't hate this
yeah.
take. Top 36 is very saucy, but hey, man, it is called the saucy take section. I'm going to go with my, oh, you started with the bust. I'm going to go with my bust. It's the guy almost right above him. It's going to be Mr. CEH. Clyde. They have him running back 18. I know he's playing Buffalo. Buffalo is literally demons against running backs. They are so fucking good against running backs. The only running back to have any kind of decent success against them this season was actually J.K. Dobbins from the Ravens, and that's because he had 2 touchdowns. And both touchdowns were basically due to turnovers and them getting the ball in the red zone, one way or another. So I don't see that being the case. I know Kansas City is good. I think they're going to have to pass to keep up. The game is also at Buffalo. So I don't see a lot of Clyde. And honestly, if they do get down, I see some more Jerick McKinnon. He's been kind of like the pass row specialist guy. So they have Clyde here ranked 18. I have him outside of the top 30, which according to
Yeesh.
projections would be 9 points because we have some bye weeks. I have him around 9 points. I don't think he's going to be too crazy this week. That's kind of the guy I'm fading this week. There's some players I'd rather start over him that are under him. How about you talk to us about one guy that maybe I would
Yeah.
start? Yeah, go ahead. Give
One
us
of
give
those guys that we're talking about. I think this is the Zeke game, man. I think that is my pick to be a boom this week. I think Zeke is in line. He's historically performs pretty well against the Eagles. It's a Sunday night game, so you know the lights are going to be on, and he's got to perform. Man, they're paying him the bucks out there. This team has kind of like a little bit of a momentum going with Cooper Rush behind. They're
their
winning,
defense.
yeah, and their defense is getting them in good field position. Um, I think Zeke might he's going to be in line for a touchdown, maybe two. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets two touchdowns this week, and maybe around 80 to 90 yards, maybe 100 scrimmage yards, depending if he gets a few receptions here or there.
They got him
But
28. Where how high
yeah,
are you
yeah,
taking this?
I think I mean I'm gonna shoot for a top 15 if he gets one, but if he
Mm.
gets two touchdowns, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets in the top eight.
Yeah, I love it personally. Philly is a great defense. But I just think that this Dallas offense is they know their strengths and their weaknesses, and I think that starts with Cooper Rush. Not the most talented player in the world, but I don't know. Have you seen there's a clip floating around Twitter where he basically like they had practiced this install. It was like written by a beat reporter after, where they had this audible installed against the Rams that if they got a certain look, that he was going to check to that. And it was on like a 3rd and 16 or 3rd and 12. And he checked basically to a toss play. And it was a toss play that got Tony Pollard like 50 yards. And after the play is over, you see all the receivers and all the offensive linemen pointing at Cooper Rush because he identified the weakness in the defense and checked to a
Oh,
play to beat it. Shit
no,
like
I did
that.
not see that. He caught that play. I mean, that's what quarterbacks do, man. When they watch film and they recognize his own, like any kind of scheme, a defensive scheme or his own man to man, they got to call those audibles and take advantage of those. So
Ex-
it's good. That
It's
shows
amazing.
why they're winning,
Yep.
why he's been able to keep them afloat, even
Yep.
though Dak has been out.
Some people have actually
Yeah,
even been saying that this is before he really started like getting it going after he just won his first game. Basically, like insiders talking about Cooper Rush. I know this is about Zeke, but this is going to tie into Zeke because I mean, if your quarterback sucks or is dumb, like there's only so much
yeah.
a
It
running back can
just
do.
it just limits your ceiling.
Exactly. Talking about how Cooper Rush right now would be better than most offensive coordinators because he just sees the game that way. His talent's not all the way there, but he's a very smart player. Hey guys, shout out Cooper
Yeah.
Rush, man. He's gonna give Zeke. I agree with you. I top 20 for sure. Top 15. I'm hoping for in top 10. I don't see it that far away. Um, my boom of the week, man, is my baby, man. Eno. Gotta go with Eno. Mr. Eno Benjamin. We talked about 20 as a bust. We talked about 18 as a bust. 20 being Najee, 18 being Clyde. Let's talk about the boom, man. We taking he's going to the boom boom room, man, because he is gonna fuck up these Seahawks this week. Like there is no other person in the goddamn attendance. The 12th man is they're playing at Seattle. He's about to be the 12th man because he's gonna be everywhere. I am super, super high on Eno.
Where do you
And
have him?
I have him top 8, man. I'm pushing
Top
top
eight.
8. Top
Sheesh.
8, the projections currently are between around like 16 points. I think he can hit that so easy. Um, some people are kind of on the fence because James Conner hasn't really been like that this year and this and that. I think this is the best the team has been in terms of talent or like the receiving core. Rondale's getting it going. Hollywood's getting it going. Greg Dortch is still there. I know he's not really playing, but Zach Ertz has been playing good. So I think the weapons around Eno Benjamin are very, very good. He got one in the red zone last week. He got himself a tutty. He got himself, nice little check on that tutty. And his receiving work is just better than everybody else. Like he's their main receiving back, and now he's going to be their main running back. They basically have James Conner's out. Their other running back, Williams, is out. They had to sign Keontae Ingram back to the team and another guy there who forgot his name. Essentially, it's the Eno show, man. And I'm getting front row fucking tickets. I'm not missing him. I'm actually starting him in the league this week. Tell me what you
Yeah,
think. I know you think I'm a little crazy for him. Man.
I actually have. I'm between starting him and Zeke in one of my leagues. I ended up getting Eno off of waivers. I'm sure as most people did this week, which is why I'm surprised. Not quite surprised that you're taking him to be a boom, but surprised you have him in the top 8 because he is stepping into that starter role. I will say Eno did look excellent on his touchdown run last week. He has shown that he has some juice and some explosiveness. And if you get him out of space, he's gonna be able to get things done. So I do think he has a good pathway to get into that top 10. Um, but we'll see.
Hey, absolutely, man. Take it away with who you think is gonna boom at the
Oh
receiver
man,
position.
I'm gonna stay with the same team here, bro. And
Oh,
we talked about him a little bit, Rondale Moore. They got him at wide receiver 38. Um, I think he's in line. He's going to be in the top 24 this week, maybe top 20. He is getting healthy. He has stepped into that Greg Dortch role, just as we all expected he would. He's getting those short passes and he's making plays in space. So I think he's gonna be. He has a good baseline with he has a few, like maybe a handful of receptions headed his way. And let's see what he does with after the catch if he's able to make some plays, make some people miss, maybe take one to the house. But yeah, I think he's in line. I think they have him ranked way too low. We saw what Dortch was doing when Moore was out. Double digits the first I think 3 weeks he had the
just
double digits the
just
first
consistently
PPR.
getting at least a base, like you said. His
Yeah,
floor is very high.
exactly. So I think Rondell Moore is it's if you needed the confidence to start, if you needed a flyer or a good flex play, I think Rondell Moore is a good one.
I'm seeing him 38. How high are you taking this?
Yeah, I was saying he's either top 24, top 20. I think.
I'm with it.
And he's a wide receiver too this week.
We were actually talking about this as we were making the picks off the pod. Might as well tell the people, man. They got so many receivers in this game. So crazy high. They got Hollywood at 5. They got DK at 10 and Lockett at 14. That's 3 receivers out of the top 14. Why is
Yeah, they
Rondale that far behind?
definitely. Yeah, and it's not like D Hop is back. Like
Exactly.
they need another receiver to throw the ball to. I mean, Zach Ertz is there, but he's kind of more like their sticks guy. Um,
I just
so
I think he's
I
gonna
just
go crazy this week.
yeah, they're expecting, and we were talking about it, like you said, off screen. We were talking about it. They had all these players projected really high up. So I was wondering, and I was asking, what's the over under for this game because they have so many players ranked so high, and this is by far this game, this and Arizona game is by far the highest over under. So this is expected to be a shootout.
Yeah, behind the
And
Chiefs game, obviously. But yeah,
yeah,
behind them, it was them and like big drop off. So it was
yeah.
Chiefs,
Well, that's
Bills,
the
and then this
given,
one.
right?
Yeah, like everybody should expect that. But this is
Yeah,
I think yeah, I agree, man. Sneaky, sneaky, sneaky over under game. I low key want every single piece of both teams playing in this week. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna take it to my guy, man. It's not
yeah,
it's only right, man. It's been so long. I've been clamoring and clamoring and clamoring. Go get you a piece of this guy. Go get you a Pierce of this guy. What did I say? Alec Pierce, man. Wide
yeah,
receiver, 45, 45 for my Spanish speakers. Love saying that.
yeah,
I'm very
man.
Spanish. The disrespect, the audacity has out targeted, has received more targets than Michael Pittman he did in his last game, and about the same amount of targets over the last 2 games on 52% of the snaps, while Pittman is playing over 75% of them. I think this is the week you're playing Jacksonville. They got absolutely crushed. They got skunked by Jacksonville last time. They didn't
Yeah,
have Pittman. They didn't have Pierce. They had shitty Paris. And I think they're gonna notice, man. They gotta get this shit going. They gotta turn this over. Jonathan Taylor couldn't do much against them last game. Not saying that's gonna be the case this game. I'm just saying they gotta air this out a little bit they got to be a little bit more balanced at the beginning of the game, not just get down and start airing it out. And I think the way to do that is to get Alec Pierce the ball. I think he's more 1B than he is the 2 there. I know that sounds crazy to say because Pittman was getting taken in the third, fourth round. But I just honestly,
Yeah,
I am
I would say that's a little bit of a stretch as
a
a
man,
1B, but I would definitely agree with it too. He's been trending up.
top 20
Um,
this week, calling it.
I top 20 from 45. That is pretty saucy. I almost wanted to say, man, we should have given him a temporary pause, let people post down in the comments and see if they could guess who your pick is, man. You've been hyping this man up for weeks and weeks and weeks. So it would have been interesting to see who's been keeping up with the podcast and who could guess that, right? Because you've been telling people to get this man for free before he was on the map. If you want to get this man now, I try to get him, and somebody put a higher waiver
All in
claim on
put
me. You
150
know,
on him.
yeah, so
I don't need
like
receiver, but I still made a bid.
if you were listening to this man, you would have been had this man on your roster. So
Y'all see Pittman
it's
up
that
there at
time.
16. I'm saying they're going to be within 5 spots of each other. Pierce might even outscore him. I'm not going to go there, but I am going to guarantee anytime Tutty this week for Pierce. I think it's going to be his first one of the season. I might be wrong on that, but I believe in this man this week, man. That's all I got to say, man. Let's get real saucy here because I think our
Yeah.
busts this week are pretty spicy. And not this, guys, we don't just go on here and like, oh, what's gonna get us? No, man, like we really break this shit down. We really think. I was actually telling Gator how much I enjoy the running backs this week. I thought the running backs should have a
Yeah.
very good week. It took me a minute to find the bust, which is why CEH I picked them because there's so many running backs in the 20s and 30s. I think this is gonna be a nice week for running backs. So, tell
Yeah,
us
I
about your bust
agree.
up here.
Yeah, my bust for wide receiver, man. I don't know, man. I have not seen anything from this man that makes me think this is that guy. And the guy I'm talking about is Cortland Sutton. We have him as wide receiver 12 on the week. I think he needs that's a very high mark for him. He needs high volume and he needs a touchdown to get up in there. And I don't think he's gonna get either. I feel like Jerry Judy has been more the go-to guy, even though he's dropping the passes. I see him creating more space and being open, like creating a lot more space and being a lot more open. He's just dropping the passes, which is very unfortunate. So, with that being said, Cortland Sutton is my fade of the week, is my bust of the week. I do see him outside the top 24, unless he gets a touchdown, which
It's
the
always
way the
possible.
Broncos have, yeah, it's always possible because he does have jump ball. He is pretty good with the jump balls, but like I just don't see. He's been struggling, man. This whole offense altogether has been struggling. So I mean, maybe it could be a Russ week where he cooks and Sutton gets to eat, but I don't see him
Man,
inside the top 24.
the only thing
I
Russ knows how to
realized that
use
was the
right now is
bar.
a microwave. That motherfucker can't cook, bro. His arm is cooked. I
Yeah,
hope he
man. How do you
recovers.
feel
Well,
about that
I
take?
actually traded for Sutton very recent, like literally last week. So I hope he actually plays well because I need him. I'm in a little bit of a disagreement with you. I don't think he's gonna bust. Outside of the what did you say? Because he's ranked 12th. How far did you take him?
24.
Okay, 20. So
24.
he could still be a flex play.
Yeah.
Um, Hopefully he's not though. Should I need him to perform? I just traded Jalen Waddle for him in a league. I got Pierce back too. Kind of the reason I did it. If I'm taking two
Alec or Damien?
Alec. No shit. If I got Damon, dude, I'd be
I'm
fucking
about to
doing
say, man, you got a
hell,
steal
man.
there.
If I say Pierce, man, y'all should know it's Alec Pierce, man. Damian Pierce is secondary on this fucking podcast. No, I'm kidding. But love me. I do like some Cortland Sutton this week. I think the Chargers are not. This might be a game where they're forced to score points. Essentially, is what I'm getting at. So I think he has a little bit of upside scoring touchdowns. I do agree with you. I think Judy has flashed more. Sadly, the flashes are bad and good because he just drops some passes that you're like, dude, you could have literally had 20,
Yeah.
30, 40 yards, maybe even a touchdown. But we'll see how this goes, man. I definitely agree. My bust of the week, ironically, man, right under him. Man by the name of Mike Williams. Oh man. This is tough for me to say. I liked a lot of players. I was actually between him and Jalen Waddle. I'm not gonna say that too loud. But Mike Will just Mike Will is a very up and down guy typically. I think he's going to get the Pat Surtain treatment, and the way Pat Surtain has been playing in Denver has been absolutely shut down. He has been playing fucking elite defense for a corner. I think he's been top 5 this year in PFF coverage grade. The eye test tells you whoever's on his side is not getting that shit. So
Yeah.
I'm fading him. He's ranked 13. I think he's outside of the top 30 this week. Personally, I think there's some better options into the 30s that you might want to look into starting over him that aren't as popular as like that's why it's saucy, man.
Yeah,
You gotta
man,
keep
that's
this
tough
take
for me
sauce.
because I have 75% of my leagues. I have Mike Williams, and he is a must start for me
Yep.
out of necessity. And also, I just feel like this game, they're just this is a game where he's gonna be able to shine. I know Sertan. Well, no, it's Sertan. We used to call him Patrick Sertain here because we had his dad playing for the Dolphins here,
Oh,
Mr. Senior.
okay.
But yeah, I think Mike will. It's just out of necessity. And if Keenan is actually, it looks like he's trending to get back. He draws some of that certain coverage, but I just think this offense is going to keep. They're hitting their stride. You saw what they did last week. Mike Will has had a couple games in a row now
Yep.
where he is balling. So I don't think I don't think he's going to slow down. I think he's going to build up on that, and I think they need him to do that. I think they need someone alongside with when with Allen, with Keenan Allen to carry that workload.
Yeah, man. I love the player. I just I named him on my fantasy. I actually have him in a league. I traded him in another one. I name him the boomer bust king because when he booms,
Yeah,
you win. When he
he's
busts,
literally Mr. Boomer Bust.
yeah, like he's captain, like he's sergeant, he's driving the ships, he's doing everything.
Yeah,
Um, that's gonna do it for our receiver segment. But we're gonna add a complimentary. This is
yeah,
on the house, like the Olive Garden bread, like the Red Lobster cheddar biscuits, man.
yeah. In case you're streaming quarterbacks, or maybe you're on the fence about who you can start. Maybe you have one of these quarterbacks that have questions and you're looking for an alternative. So we just want to give you reassurance. We have a start of the week. You
Go
want to give it
ahead.
to him?
Nah, nah, this is all you, baby.
Man. Yeah, we're gonna go with Jimmy Grant. Oh, the Jimmy Graham. Well, imagine Jimmy Graham,
Jimmy Graham
quarterback.
playing
No,
quarterback, baby.
oh my God, no, Jimmy Garoppolo, Mr. Jimmy G, Jimmy Handsome. They have him at quarterback 16 this week.
Correct.
If you're looking for a quarterback one to start, they are playing. I think it was the Falcons that they're playing.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and I think they're in line for. I think Debo's gonna eat. George Kittle might have a coming out party here. Ayuk. I think we might be in line for one of those 3 or 4 touchdowns, super consistent or super efficient Jimmy games here.
I definitely. I mean, this is consensus because we both agree with him. I think this is going to be the time to buy on Debo Samuel as well. I feel like his value's not been too high. We were talking about it off the pod, man. I think I'm trying to get Debo Samuel in as many leagues as possible, especially if my second RB slot is bad because receiver RB is basically the same position Debo plays. He gets you those. He makes up for those carries your second running back doesn't get production on. Maybe like just
Yeah,
take a flyer on Debo and this entire offense. Just really like San Francisco this week against Atlanta. I think the game might be a little bit closer than people think. I don't think it's going to be an absolute blowout. So I think Jimmy is going to have to throw the ball. And if it is a blowout, I think it's going to be a production of Jimmy throwing the ball. So we're in
yeah,
agreement there. This is a fun fact, man. We were actually trying to come up with a tight end boom or bust, but we really came to a consensus that outside of like maybe 8 of these guys, everybody fucking sucks. So just take a flyer.
yeah.
The
Pretty much,
closest,
if anybody catches a 20-yard pass, they're in the top 10. So
yeah, a
you
touchdown is a
know,
blessing. And I was not joking when I said this. I think the guy for me, I'm not even going to expand on this. Greg Dolchich, sleeper of the week, saucy take of the week, finishing top
it's his
15 at tight
debut,
end.
right?
His rookie debut, man. I love me some
It's his
rookies.
rookie debut. We'll see, man. That's saucy as it gets. He was
Yeah.
it tight end 61. Did I see that right?
Yeah, tight end 61, man. I don't think I've
Yeah.
ever gone this low ever in my life. This is as low as I'll ever scoop, but I like me some Greg Dolchich this week. Their tight ends kind of suck dick over there. So just take a guy who hasn't sucked any dick yet, I guess. I don't know what to tell you, man. How to let loose a
Hey
little.
man, do yourself that favor. Yeah, don't do that.
Hey man, you know what time it is. The pressure is on you, Mr. Gator, man. 10-0. Wait a minute. Let me say that again. 10-0 in these pick'ems, man. You like American Sniper.
Yeah,
He
man.
don't miss. He
Nah,
don't
of course not,
miss.
bro. We shooting 100 out here, man.
Hey,
So yeah, dude. Which one you want me to pick first? Who we going with? Your
man,
matchup?
man, we're just gonna go off the top from top to bottom. Um, I'm playing
You gonna
Jess, man. My team has been practicing day and night for this for this
you give him a
matchup.
pep talk?
Oh man, I don't need to give him a pep talk, man, because I got the Lord
Oh,
Commander of the Quad Squad right there, Saquon Barkley. He's coming. He's coming through for the Quad Squad this week. AJ Dillon's on the bench. The heir to the throne. He looks like Daenerys off of
yeah, man.
yeah, man. Talk to me. Tell me who you're taking. I'm gonna take
Yeah,
myself because I never back away. But maybe you provide some better
yeah.
insight.
You know, at first glance, I was gonna go with your team here, man. But I do think the undefeated remains undefeated.
Oh,
Um, I do see that she has James Conner, but I do also see she has Stevenson and can slot him in, and then Keenan should be back. So she should, if she's watching the podcast, she should be starting Keenan if he's back. If not, you do have Melvin Gordon as a decent safety blanket there. But I do think this team can pull out this win. Uh, you do have a lot of great players. This to me, this is the matchup to watch for the week. But I do think she stays undefeated. I'm betting my own undefeated record on this
oof.
first pick right here.
This is so. I mean, realistically speaking, I'm not going into this fully confident. We've discussed her team. It is elite. The
Mhm.
fact that Cooper Cup guarantees her fucking 10 catches a week is literally a fucking cheat code.
Yeah.
Nick Chubb has been playing elite. She's got Justin Herbert. I think where I kind of find some confidence in is definitely her receivers outside of Cooper Cup. Deontay typically is a nice floor guy, but I mean him and Pickett haven't really been seeing eye to eye. It's been more Pickett and Pickens than Pickett and
Mhm.
Deontay. Drake London playing San Fran. San Fran's been playing really good. So I kind of this again, guys. This is me trying to find a little bit of wiggle room in her team because it is very, very good. Stevenson, Goddard, both are smash starts. I think this week. Is this finally the week Geno Smith flails out? I don't think so. Maybe I was a week too early on him. But I definitely think her biggest advantages come at this quarterback position. Daniel Jones starting for me is tragic. Bronson. But I don't know,
Yeah.
man. Is there anybody you'd start on her team? I mean, you talked about Keenan, but Keenan. So essentially,
Yeah.
you're taking Stevenson, putting him in an RB2 slot, and then starting
And then
Keenan if he
flexing
plays.
Keenan in. Yeah, that's pretty much what I see her doing. I did want to say something about Geno since you mentioned that if
Yeah.
he flames out. Just a fun fact in another league that I'm in with Solid. So Solid had Trey Lance to start the year, died. Then you have, then he played Tua. He died. Then he started playing Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence started playing like shit. And this week he's starting Geno Smith in that league. So,
Hey, Geno.
take with that information what you want, but it could be in line for a Geno Smith, bomb right here.
Yeah, this might be the Geno Smith single
Yeah,
digit
this might be
game.
a solid curse right here.
Um,
So, yeah, man, I do think that she's gonna stick out this win. I don't know. It's hard to see it. Her team just has a very high floor, like we discussed
how about
previously.
this? Is there anything I should do different with my roster that would make you feel better? Because currently There's a couple players I'm looking at that I'm kind of iffy on. We talked about how Waddle was almost my bench of the week.
Yeah.
At that slot, I clearly have options. I don't think I'm gonna go Dobbins, but um, Thielen, DJ Moore, or somebody that I'm kind of high on this week.
I
Um,
think Waddle is safe. I do think you're starting the best lineup. If Olave isn't playing this week,
yeah,
I would start Thielen just
mm,
for the touchdown upside because you might be needing that. Um, Other than that, I don't see anything else. I don't Pretty much I would go depending on, let me see, these games are all 1 o'clock games pretty
I
much.
hate that
Depending how
though.
these
I can't
games go.
stand that.
Yeah, depending how these games go, I would maybe change for more upside if you have a chance. It is very unfortunate that you have Eno and she has James Conner and Conner might not be playing.
Yeah,
So that works
that's
out in your favor.
yeah. I definitely
But
spent some fab on Eno this week too. I think I was the highest bidder
yeah,
by a bit.
but she does have Stevenson to cover that
Yeah,
hole. So,
her team is
you know,
absolutely stacked.
it also it fell in line for her.
Really quick, Winston or Daniel Jones? Winston versus Cincinnati or Daniel Jones versus Baltimore?
I'm always starting Winston if he's playing over Daniel Jones, just
Okay,
because Winston,
we're on the
even
same
if he
page.
gets you one or two turnovers a game, the motherfucker likes to air that shit out.
It's
He is
famous
not
Jameis, baby.
scared. Famous Jameis, and you got to ride with that guy, bro. Like, he eats W's, bro.
Nobody's
Maybe not
famous
in.
because they hand the ball off, bro. Famous Jameis gonna be famous
Yeah,
because he doing something out there, tossing
yeah,
that
he
thing
putting
around.
air in that bitch, man.
Yeah,
So
airing that shit
gotta
out.
love to see it.
Let's go to the next matchup. We're just gonna go in order here. It's gonna be speaking of solid and Tony, and
Yeah.
this is an
This is
interesting
also
matchup.
another good yeah, this is also another good matchup here, man. I was going through this. I don't know how you feeling.
I first of all, I'm taking solid. I think I'm gonna state that. I think Tony's running back. He has my fade of the week. He's got Clyde there. But his team just he's got your fade of the week. He's got Sutton there as well. So I don't know.
Mhm.
I like Kenny Walker. I think maybe put him over there, and then I can't believe he didn't start. Bro, if you see that many men video, you got to start Brian Robinson the next week. I think that goes
Yeah.
without saying. I think he actually has a better chance starting if MT plays. I doubt he's going to play. But Njoku over Clyde this week, maybe that's a spicy take. But I do like David Njoku this week in general. He's kind of been the guy, and plus tight ends get an extra half a point per catch here. So
Yeah. So you would be starting
I'd be
Kenny
bench.
over Clyde and then
Yeah,
flexing in Njoku and keeping Zach Ertz in?
yeah. Got to keep Zach Ertz in, man. That's the highest scoring game aside from the Chiefs Bills.
That's actually not bad. I mean, assuming Michael Thomas doesn't play.
Yeah, of course.
Um,
If Thomas
yeah.
plays, and that's not a question, I bench Clyde for MT.
I wouldn't be mad at that because it is a tight end premium. Um, see, and that's kind of, man, funny you mentioned that because Solid is actually doing that with Higby and Kittle.
Okay. Yep.
Um, yeah, we were talking off screen right now, and I was leaning towards Tony's side, but re-examining this, we do have some fades here. I don't think Clyde is a fade for me, but I do think Sutton is a fade. And we were talking about our quarterback start of the week. Jimmy is out there repping for solid. So I think I will. I mean, he also does have the Minnesota defense, the DST, and they're facing my Dolphins with our third string quarterback. So,
This is
man,
incredible right here, guys. How is this
yeah,
man on his bench this week? Who is he
yeah,
starting over him? If Higgins doesn't play, he better start Pierce. And
yeah.
he still has Allen Robustinson on his fucking bench. This is
And
incredible.
McKenzie, man. Oh, man. Yeah, I'm going to go with solid on this one. I'm not too confident about it. I do feel like his team is like, it looks good, but it's also in shambles in some parts. I don't understand it,
Yeah,
but
it's
I think he
definitely
has
wild.
enough. I think he has enough there to get a win and get to 500.
I definitely agree. I think if he gets carried this week, it's gonna be a combo of Jimmy G outplaying Kirk Cousins and Austin Eckler outscoring all his running backs. 'Cause I do believe in Eckler. this week. I was trying to trade for him before he went fucking nuclear back to back weeks.
Yeah.
I like his tight ends. I like his Jacoby Myers at receivers. I like that pick. Honestly, I think Kittle is not somebody I look forward to playing. Just I don't think he hasn't really been there this year. 5 for
Well, he was hurt.
47. Yeah, but he's always hurt, and that's something that I'm not a fan of. Um,
Yeah, that's true.
I would still start Pierce over him, even if Higgins plays, or
So
I'd
you're
make.
benching Kittle flat out?
Oh yeah, if Pierce plays, I mean, if Higgins plays and you're confident with him starting, then yeah. My whole thing is Pierce should not be on your bench this week. I think he's earned the right to start, and it is what it is, man. I'm making my own
Yeah.
fucking fan page. Follow it on
Alright.
Reddit. You'll see me
Quick quick question. Kittle or Ertz?
this week.
Yeah.
Hurts, no question.
Alright. Kittle or Njoku?
And Joku.
Okay, yeah, so we're full off the Kittle. I think Kittle might have a coming out party this week, man, to be honest. I think it's one of those games they need Kittle. They want to get him integrated. He is one of the whether they're run blocking or and pass catching, he is a stud whenever he has the ball in his hands.
Yeah,
And I
he's
think
yeah.
they need to get him involved for this team to get where they want to get to.
Talk about get to where we want to get to. We have your team against the winless, the tech guy, who's no longer teching for us because he's 0-5. He's been fired. Nah,
Yeah,
he hasn't
pretty
been
much.
fired. He has an open invitation back, but
We sent them down to the AAA, man.
yeah,
We sent them out. He's got to work on his game,
he's
and
yeah,
you know,
he's on like a vacation type of thing, but he's working on how to improve his fantasy team. He's going.
we sent them to the practice squad.
Yeah, he's on the practice squad. He's actually flying out individually. He's going to go to all these games and talk to all his players. Right before sending him DMs, he's prepping up a whole paragraph, an essay. But who are you taking? Because your
I
player
mean,
dropped 2.6, and you're
yeah,
still favored by over 10 points.
my boy Curtis. We already talked about it. He dropped a couple of passes that might have his stat line looking completely different.
Yep.
But unfortunately, I'm gonna have to send our boy Swift over to 0-6 land. Um, you know, this is not going to be the week you get your first win, sir. I am sorry, not sorry. And I'm going to take myself for the win. I think my team is just flat out better. It's just across the board. I have better quarterbacks. His shoes, whack. Let me not start. But yeah, bro, I just think Swift has suffered quite a few losses. Not literally on the team, but I just think his team has been diminished by injury and just
Uh,
some picks haven't panned out. But
yeah. I can't believe he's starting Mike Boone.
I can because this. Have you seen his bench?
Dude, go pick somebody up on the waiver wire. Go pick up a receiver. He's starting him at a flex spot. Shit, start Rashad White over him.
I mean, he does have Bateman that he could start
He
over him.
hasn't
But,
he hasn't practiced all week, so I don't expect Bateman out
mm,
on the field. But
mm,
um, Chase Edmonds
yeah,
is not playing. Obviously, I don't know.
his choices are limited, man.
So I will say this about Swift. I really like his running backs,
Oh, I love his running backs. That's
but his problem is his receivers. I do think he got blessed right here with Mooney giving him 13.
yeah,
Um,
and Fields giving him 20.
yeah, Fields giving him 20, obviously. But I just man, just you have something called consistency. Talking about high floor, it doesn't get much higher than Patty, Lenny, and Travis Kelsey, and obviously Alvin Kamara for me. RB1 before the season started, top 3 RB for sure. For me
Hmm.
personally, and you got him. So shouts out to you. Great trade. I think it's gonna keep bearing its fruit. I was leaning Joseph. I was leaning Swift, but I can't go away from all the consistency you have. I think your most inconsistent player is Mike Williams and J Rob. I don't you're starting J Rob this week over Cam Akers?
I am.
I mean, I can't. I don't hate it. Cam Akers hasn't done much, but I'm just not really.
Fortunately, I'm in a position where I can afford to wait and see until so that Rams O line gets healthy, and two, until Cam Akers shows me that he can be efficient. Because even when he has holes, he is not going through them. He's not being efficient.
Yeah,
So um, I'm just Robinson has shown me that he can produce. Akers hasn't. That's as much. That's how simple it gets to me.
yeah.
Sometimes we tend to overthink these things, and then we end up making the wrong decisions. I'm going with the proven guys. That's why I traded Clyde for Kamara. Kamara's stock was high, but he was unproven to me. Kamara stock is low, but he's a proven player for me. That's why I'm sticking with the proven guys, and that's why I'm going with Robinson instead of Akers.
Hey, no, you're
Same
not
thing across
not
the
gonna get
board.
a complaint from me. I'm sticking with you. I was very close to picking Swift. Swift, don't hold this against me. I'm rooting for you, my boy. I need to see at least one win up there, man. Gator can afford to lose. He's 4-1. Let me catch up to him a little bit.
No, I cannot afford to lose because someone is still undefeated.
I'll take care of that, buddy. I'll take care of that. We got
Oh, we'll
Hunter,
see.
man. Hunter and Flex. Um, the projections here are not very kind to Flex. He hasn't really set his lineups. He has Damian Pierce, but as we're gonna get into, his team at running back is absolute dog water. Um,
Yeah,
he kind of has nobody outside of Zeke, Latavius Murray, and that's as far as it goes.
it's tough for him being short at running back and then having his one of his starting running backs on
His
bye.
his best one, I would say, at least this year, Damian Pierce by far, and
Yeah,
he's got Cordero Patterson somewhere. I'm pretty sure.
he does have my boom of the week in Ezekiel, but without your reliable RB2, you're looking at Latavius Murray or someone off of waivers, really. Maybe he makes a trade before the game before he starts this week.
I was actually trying to trade for Pierce from his team. I
Mm,
was willing to give him two running backs that he can start.
he's 3-2, so maybe he's not too desperate to make a trade. I mean, Hunter is 1-4. Um, yeah, I mean, I when it comes to this, I'm probably gonna have to go with Hunter on this one. I do think he gets his second win, even if he does find an RB2 to slot in. I think Hunter's team is on the come up. He just hasn't had, you know, luck go his way.
Yeah,
But he does have a couple of people on by, but I think he can sneak by and get a win this week.
to me, I do agree. I I was actually since we record this always after the Thursday night game, I was very close to, depending on how this Thursday night game went, taking Flex because I think his biggest wild cards just played, and it was Perry and Carson, and they shot the bed for him. Unfortunately for him, but Hunter needs this one really bad. I don't love his quarterback situation. I actually think it's, dare I say, the worst in the league for this week. Jacoby Brissett and Matt Ryan is not a place of comfort for me if I am playing those two
Yeah,
quarterbacks. I like his running back depth. He's got Brees Hall, Mostert this week. I really wouldn't do much different. He even has he had Demar on the bench. Low key a sneaky start for me in deeper leagues is Algier. I think you can throw him into your flex spot. I know he's playing San Fran. I just think they're gonna. I think he's getting into the end zone this week, so I'm kind of higher on Algier. Um, maybe wait and see with him because thinking about he is playing San Fran, but really I like the way his team is structured. Lazard might have a decent game. Just I'm gonna lean by I'm gonna lean Hunter, not by too much. I just think Flex's team shot
yeah,
himself in the foot. I'm being honest here.
yeah. That's exactly what I think. I don't think this is anything where it's like an overwhelming favor or anything. I just think which team is more depleted this
Yeah.
week because they're both dealing with bye weeks. So
Yep.
um, you know, I just think Hunter is able to cover more because he has more depth. I just really think not having another run. He's Flex is probably gonna have to go to waivers for
Yeah.
another running back,
Well, let's
which is
actually
not
let's actually
reassuring.
do a little waiver searching for the boy real quick. Maybe somebody's in a bad predicament like him. Um Who are you picking up here? Personally, I would pick up DJ Dallas, start him, but
Dallas.
Tevin
I would
Coleman
lean
maybe.
more towards Michael Carter just because
Okay.
he does have a receiving floor. They do like to use both their running backs in the receiving game. Um, McKissick obviously already played, so we can't go that way. But
Tevin
out of
Coleman's
all
my
these
guy.
names, yeah, Tevin Coleman might get some work, but
It's looking bad,
I would
essentially.
probably just go with Michael Carter just because it is about a 50-50 timeshare over there, even though, Brees Hall has been more efficient or just
Yeah.
more explosive, really. They are still kind of splitting that backfield. If you look at Michael Carter, I'm looking at his snap shares. It's gone down little by little 60, 61, 49, 44, 42, but he's still getting 10 plus touches every game. So,
The other thing
I,
with
I
that is
think
Hunter's also starting Brees Hall. So if you hit on Carter because Brees Hall flops, you get the double whammy right there.
exactly.
Let's close it out here. Close out the games. We got Bleach my bunda. Larry Clapper, aka Kev, and El Carbo, just CMC. It's actually
Mhm.
Jonathan Taylor's back, so he should change his name again. The projections are not being very kind to somebody who was once deemed the favorite, if you
he,
recall.
he has St. Brown on bye in his starting lineup. That might be why.
I peep.
And he
Let's see
also
who
has Huntley.
his bench is absolutely putrid. We said this last week, but it looks my goodness. I do not know who he's
Yeah.
starting. He needs to go to
This
waivers as
is
well.
this is what's gonna happen to him when you trade away so many assets to get,
Christian McCaffrey.
did he trade for JT? He got McCaffrey, yeah.
McCaffrey, yeah.
So he's gonna be dealing with this day in and day, each week, especially if he has to deal with bye weeks. So and he has one, two, three, four
His
players on bye this week.
his
So
bench is I would say I've seen better benches on 12 team leagues.
yeah,
Like
I wouldn't even argue that.
this is very bad. Like Madison, yeah, I mean you got a cuff. Don't hate the cuff. Teddy, I don't hate the cuff because he has two, if I'm not mistaken. Just
Right.
I don't know, man. A lot of this is not something I'm very fond with. I don't mind Josh Reynolds, but there's some of these players that like you're just like I don't really know. There's too much going on here. I think he should drop some players. There's no way in heck I'm starting Caleb Huntley this week,
Yeah.
and he needs not just one start. He needs two starts. He needs a flex and a receiver.
Yep. Yeah. And then I mean, on the other side, it's not looking much better, but he does have a more filled out roster. So he does have the depth because he didn't trade away assets for to get those picks or to get that player. But I do think Blurry will get the win this week. He does have Najee, who's my fade this week, but he does have Josh Allen, who can drop
It's
40.
it's Josh
And
Allen,
yeah,
Diggs,
Josh Allen and Diggs stack can literally get you 50, 60 points easily.
somebody you almost
My
included in your boom of the week. He's got Judy there as well.
Yeah, Judy was almost my boom of the week. They're gonna have to score, like you were saying. Your case for Sutton also applies for Judy.
Yep.
They're gonna be forced to score. I just think Judy is the better athlete right now. DK Schultz, if he's healthy, I can see him having a good game.
Yeah.
And Pollard, I mean Pollard's, he's a threat
I'm
to
actually
score.
I think he should start Rondale over Tony Pollard, no question.
He should definitely start my start of the week
Yeah.
at wide receiver over Pollard. That's what I was gonna get at. He should definitely do that. I think that gives him a higher floor as well. You won't be, he's bound to get at least 5 PPR just off receptions, and then you have whatever comes with the yards. So
I
yeah,
mean,
I mean
he
that's the
had
only thing I would change.
8 targets, 7 catches last week.
Hmm.
Expect more of the same, and it was a close game last week. I think it's still gonna be a close game. So, excuse
Yeah,
me.
they're playing Seattle, and this is projected to be quite the little shootout.
So, I mean, I fully agree. I mean, maybe we can help out young Eli out here at receiver too. are any of these receivers calling your names like start me this week? Because I see one and it's the guy, ironically, the mouse landed on. It's MVS.
NVSC. I just have a hard time buying into the unproven, right? And I know Juju's on here, so, Hunter dropped him. Juju's on here. I just feel he's safer. I feel like how many targets has he gotten compared to MVS?
So we're gonna pull this up right here.
Juju's gotten 8 targets every week except week 2.
And MVS has gotten 4,
MVS
7, 7,
4,
5,
7,
and 8.
7, 5, 8. Right? So I just think Juju is safer. I think they're trying to get him the ball. Like in scoring positions, they just haven't been able to. And NVS, I've just seen more from NVS. I've seen him dropping more passes. I've seen him. He's just a burner. He's just a burner at
He,
this part, and I just don't see him when it comes to a safer floor. If you want to guarantee some production,
I
I
mean,
think you're going to get something with Juju more likely than
he needs
MVS.
to start 2 people. So I
Maybe you can
definitely,
start both of them.
yeah, I mean, I don't hate that. I wouldn't do that necessarily, but definitely, yeah, 100%. I'm leaning a little bit of MVS, but I understand the Juju love. Um, yeah, everything else looking kind of bad for my dog. I'm not gonna lie, I don't really like any of
Yeah.
these guys.
The thing is,
Any
I mean, DPJ is also out there. So, um, Joshua Palmer, if you still see value in him, I mean, his window might have closed already because Keenan might be back this week. But
Yeah, this is maybe Corey Davis because I
Corey
guess
Davis could be a good flyer there. Marvin Jones, if you can shoot for the
Duvernay because Bateman's not gonna play, but
Landry could also be a pickup because both Olave and Michael Thomas might not be playing this week.
yeah,
And if Landry is playing
Landry unfortunately has not practiced this week.
and he hasn't even practiced either, that's the thing. That we
This
have
is
a lot of
bad.
tough. Devontae Parker only had 52% snap share last week. He dropped a goose.
So
Did something happen with him over there, or they just had that
no, they just
game script when
decided.
they were blowing them out?
Yeah. So you still leaning Bleach My Blunda over El
Yeah,
Carbo, or
yeah.
you taking El Carbo here?
I think El Carbo is suffering from that trade. He's seeing the fallout from that trade.
Yep.
There's always, you're always excited to get the best player, but it doesn't always work out in your favor because you're giving up your depth.
I think something I always do if I'm gonna give up a lot of depth for a good player is I try to see the waiver wire first. Like, can I get somebody in the waiver wire that I trust will get me through bye weeks? Like his case right now.
Yeah.
And I think he miscalculated. He's actually, if I'm not mistaken, he's lost 3 games in a row in the league
Since he made
standings.
that trade,
Yeah, he's
he's lost every week since he made that trade.
every single week since he's made that trade. And I mean, Hunter, you can't really talk much. He's 1-4, but definitely his team, I would say his team has a better outlook. 1-4 is not the end all be all, and he's projected to win this week pretty significantly. So I 100% agree with this, and I think this is gonna be. Is there anything you wanted to add? We have some nice little Zeke stats up there because we were discussing Zeke versus the Eagles, and he absolutely crushes them. Like we were saying, and I mean, I think that's pretty much it for this week, man. I think this was a nice little. It's going on about almost an hour here, 59 minutes, according to
Yeah.
the stream clock. Um, Doing very well this week. Hopefully, people are clowning me right now in a group chat because I traded for Kadarius Toney 5 weeks ago. Bro, let it go, man. I fucked up, and even then, if he's on the field, Kadarius my guy. Um,
Yeah. Our
Finishing,
guy.
yeah, Kadarius. Sorry, yeah, Gator Gate, man. Kadarius, come on, baby, best receiver you've ever seen over there. Am I right?
Oh my god, yeah.
Anyways, guys, thank you for tuning in, man. Thank you for pulling up to the stream with the team. I can't rap, but I try sometimes.
And man trying to draw some bars. Don't
Yeah.
forget to follow the homies over on Twitter, man. You got at Saucy Takes. You got me at Gator X Gaming. Um,
Subscribe, please. If you're listening on the podcast, subscribe to the YouTube. We're dropping heat content. I know it has nothing to do with football, but if just in general, guys, if you enjoy basketball content, I really like basketball, probably even more than fantasy. So I definitely think you'll be getting a lot of good content over there. If you like Apex, anything first person shooter, Rocket League, please, the Twitch, Gator Gabe, it's down in the comments. The man goes crazy. He literally backpacked me to platinum. I suck at fucking Apex. But I got me an Elite 2 controller. Shout out to my girl for getting me that controller for my birthday.
Shout out to her.
I got me the little paddles in the back, man. You know we like playing with the paddles in the back, man.
Yeah,
So
man.
definitely
So the
gonna
man's
be
the boom. He's gonna
yeah,
be the boom of the week now. Let's go.
the boom of the week. All right, man. Everybody, stay clean, stay dirty, stay you. Most importantly, stay saucy.